perhaps on a rainy day in November or on a Tuesday night, they'd had a really terrible training session and they were going through a real low and they'd kind of stuck it out. It was amazing how many stories like that these athletes would recount. And, the common thread seemed to be that they recognized that in that moment they were able to find something within themselves to push them through. So the Olympics are here with us again, and I have to say I'm a big fan. I really enjoy watching it. One thing that I noticed going back to I think it was the London Games, so 2012. Obviously, everybody in the UK was kind of enthralled by all of that, and I suppose it was the sort of ex-sportsman in me that was really curious about the mindset of Olympians. Like I say, regardless of which particular sport or discipline that they were in. One thing that I noticed was in the case of gold medalists, you know, or record holders, people who'd had fantastic performances. Very often, when the camera was thrown in their face, following their win, they were out of breath, or maybe it was after the medal ceremony. They they were often asked about how it was that they got there, or what it was, what it meant to them, about the sacrifice, or whether the high point was standing on the podium. And one curious thing was, in most cases, or certainly many cases, they would often point to a ostensibly a low point from the previous cycle. They would reference a point in the previous 4 years where they had, kind of wavered and felt that they were likely to give up and break. In the case of a runner or a cyclist or a swimmer or rower, someone like that, it may have been 18 months, 2 years into the cycle, where perhaps on a rainy day in November or on a Tuesday night, they'd had a really terrible training session and they were going through a real low and they'd kind of stuck it out. It was amazing how many stories like that these athletes would recount. And, the common thread seemed to be that they recognized that in that moment they were able to find something within themselves to push them through. And that was the thing that was playing on their mind when they'd obviously come through and had the success, the basking in the glory of the adulation of the crowd and the sunny day in the Olympics, which was a far cry from that sort of low point. And I suppose when you think about it, it's all about the point when you're most likely to give up. You think about it in terms of training and fitness and going to the gym, for example. We're all motivated when we first go, perhaps day one, the days where we're kind of on it. But it's those times we think, oh, I don't really feel like it. I'm just not, I'm not quite there today. Those are the moments where by going through it and seeing it out, that's where we win. So um, the interesting thing is actually to try and extrapolate that out and think about it in the course of our own lives. It may be, what are those low points? It may be midterm, when your motivation for your subjects is just not where it needs to be. It may be after, some bad feedback, a poor performance at work. It might be when you're not motivated, where others actually have excelled, classmates, teammates, co-workers, colleagues. It might be that you've fallen behind a little bit. It could be a number of different things, but there are points in every single um, person's individual circumstances where we just think, no, we can't do this. You question yourself. But if you turn it around, these are the moments where you win, where we all win if we overcome them and actually find a way of going through it. And I think actually thinking like an Olympian is really the key to that. It's about going, no, I had that goal. I had that goal to achieve this, to keep working, and this is the low point where I'm likely to give up, and I'm not going to give up. And maybe it's a case of pinning that goal on the wall, having little sort of reminders, having a little mini goal, like I'm just going to get through this or get to the end of the week and then give myself a reward. There's multiple different scenarios and ways of doing it. But I genuinely think of thinking like an Olympian and thinking in terms of these cycles and having that goal at the end and recognizing that it's the most testing bit, the bit that where we're so demotivated because of circumstances and performance. That's the bit where we come through. I think that can be applied to anything. I certainly look back at my time at school, at university, in other roles that I've had at work. Those are the points where really you can make a difference and you can come through. So that's my advice: is think like an Olympian.